Okay, welcome to Photoshop Party extended version today because we have a fantastic speaker. Miss Sherry Hammon is going to be on to talk about how to make. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Dennis Hammon.
That'll be a surprise for her.
Yeah, no kidding. So, Mr. Dennis, I'm going to turn it over to you, and it's all yours.
Okay, I need to share my screen, and hopefully nothing naughty comes up. Oh, they were good.
Well, that's right. Last time you did this, we had a little issue.
It wasn't me, though. It wasn't me. Okay.
Famous last words.
Well, you know, the first thing I have to tell everybody when you're working on this stuff is, first of all, you got to get the Windex, you know, and clean the screen because, you know, I've retouched dots and sprinkles on my glass of my monitor so many times. So clean your monitors. No, just so anyway, I just went to Yellowstone, and I got to tell you, it's pretty tough sometimes to shoot images that are wrong. And of course, most people say I shoot them wrong all the time, but with intent purposes. So what I did is I found Billy Buffalo out there cruising along, or Billyette. And so I tilted the horizon on this guy. And, you know, I'm sure everybody knows some of these tricks, but, you know, if not, we're just going to refresh some things. But it was a dreary, yucky day, and, you know, this team thing. But one of my biggest problems, and I'm doing this because like Dwight and some of us have been judging and critiquing a lot lately, I have seen so many horizons that are just like this crooked. So maybe. So, you know, what I do is I just grab my ruler guide, and real quick, you know, I find where my horizon is, and, you know, then I come up and I do my image rotate, and I go to arbitrary, and it tells me it's 2.3 degrees off, and automatically my horizon is now straight. So that's one of the biggest things. I mean, if you just took nothing else from this to just be able to straighten out your horizons. I mean, I wish some of the people in the other classes would understand that it's not that hard, people. Shoot them straight. So now we got a straight horizon. So, you know, okay, so we got Billy Buffalo out cruising along, but I think Billy Buffalo is a little dark. Okay, I have a term for them. They're light sucking buffalo. And so we're out there. And so I grab this guy, and I don't know how many of you use a NIK very much, but I'm going to just grab Viveza here. And Viveza is one of the things that's just amazing for me. And I got to drag all you guys out of the way so I can see my thing. So Viveza is one of the ones where I just grab a control point, and I usually get the dark point of this guy, and then I just bring in my circle so I'm only attacking him. And I'm just going to lighten him up just a tad. You can see him lightening up. And then I try to throw a little structure in him, make sure he's sharp and looking good. And I'm feeling pretty good about that now. And we're good. So for a lot of people, that is probably going to be dang good. But for me, it just isn't still there for me. So I know Photoshop does it, and I know a lot of you know how to do all this stuff, but I subscribe to Skylum, and I got the Luminar. And so now I've got, okay, sorry guys. I'm seeing get so excited, I forgot to do one crucial step here. I know a lot of people don't do this, and I apologize. Cancel this guy out because I want to put Luminar on another layer. And as we're going along today, guys, really, if there's something that I'm going too fast or you guys want me to say, let me know. And or questions, please throw them out there to me. So let's go back to Skylum. Does anybody here just verbally use this at all?
Not very much. I do have it though.
Well, I've got it.
Well, I got it because I like it. I like the algorithms that uses to do some things, and if it's only one thing. So,
Dennis, where's
yes.
Your Photoshop window?
Oh crap! New share. I forget. I got to keep going back. Can you see my other window now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, troops. Thanks for keeping me on. So, you know, I go to sky replacement, and there's some great skies there you can play with. You know, you can drop in your own blue sky. You know, blue skies come in, the gray skies, and those are great. But then if you enter them in competition, then you have to put a copy of the sky and wherever. But so I just went in, and I like it because I have a little a custom sky. Sure, I really do. I promise I do. I'm like, I got all these bad things here from Michael. So now I got my own custom sky in this guy. And so, and it's, I don't know why it's blended all of a sudden. See, everything just.
Only when you're on Zoom, Dennis. Only when you're on Zoom.
Guys, I'm going out. I'm canceling. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to reshare. See, if I wasn't trying to show you guys, nothing would happen, right? And there's no pressure doing this with, you know, everybody on the line, with all you masters and everything online here. Okay, are you seeing my Luminar window coming up?
Negative.
No. Okay, as soon as this comes up, I'll reshare. I'm sorry, guys.
We're seeing Photoshop right now. Maybe share your.
There
Okay,
you
you got it.
I just reshared. So I'm just going to go to my creative and go to sky replacement and going to go to my custom skies. I can just load one of my custom sky images in, and I'm just going to grab that guy. I mean, I got dozens of them. I just put a couple in there for today. So I really like that sky, but I thought that the horizon was too high for the image. So I just kind of brought it down, and you can play with it. And we're just going to say, okay, the sky is good now. So I like the algorithms that Skylum does there. And I actually have, I'll put in the chat at the end, I have a code for you guys if anybody's interested in getting it, like a 10% off with it. And I'll put in there if anybody's interested in getting that. Any questions so far? Quiet group.
In this effort, Dennis, the steam there kind of blends into the sky. What do you do about that?
Un momento, por favor.
Oh,
Need to share
I
Photoshop
do
now.
pay attention to what you say, Dennis.
They can come up next to me now.
There we go.
Hey, can you see Photoshop now?
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
okay, remember,
Good.
remember it blend. You said it blended in, and I said I got a background look copy back where I put it on there.
This Hammon.
Beg pardon?
Well, this,
Are you guys see my Photoshop?
Yes, sir.
So I'm just grabbing a brush in black mode, and you said it's all blending in, and I can take it down to any opacity you want. See, now the steam is not coming in. Remember, I'm just going to do this real fast so you guys can see. This guy come back in here. Does that help, Alan? I think it was Alan that asked that. And down through the buffalo here. Okay, so now we got a cool sky in there, and actually kind of put it into blue in there. Now I will just crash that guy a little bit, and I go back and forth into NIK. And I use color effects quite a lot. And interesting about NIK, you know, they have all the things here, and a lot of people just think, oh, they got your sense, but if they click on, remember that if you click on these, that opens up other windows, and I can bring down the zoom and bring that down. Now, usually when I do NIK, here's the thing is you can keep stacking filters on each one of these. But the problem is every time it stacks a filter, it keeps everything that's going on. I may want to brush something off, but for the sake of right now, I'm just going to come back and put a graduated neutral density on. Now, graduated neutral densities are really nice. I mean, you can shoot those with glass there. But here's the thing, the lower density, so I can bring that lower density down a little bit more as well. So I got the lower density down, and now I got the NIK. So I brought the top and the bottom down as well. All those ding dongs people coming in.
Yep.
Yeehaw.
You're calling all those people coming in ding dongs?
I
That
did
was
not-
rude.
I did not say that. Okay, there again.
That's what I heard.
Oh, you guys are giving me. So one more time, I just come in and just take off Billy Buffalo and make sure that it's off. I want to see him there. And so there we're good. You can see how fast we can do some of these edits. Now, one of the last things is I think maybe I got too much foreground. Come in and crop the foreground off. And I keep my thirds of my chart on my mat. And one last thing I might do here is, come back into NIK. Yeah, I can stack all these up, but I like to be able to do them individually so I can adjust each layer up here with my opacity if I need to. And it saved my last ones. I don't want to keep those. I come back in here. Another popular one I really like is total contrast. And you can come down, soften it down, and really hit it hard. I'm actually going to come down and do the softening on that and then bring the highlights and things back on it to where I want it. And your shadow, so it's kind of where you're at. It's your choice what you want to do.
Can you show the before and after on that one?
I will, just 1 second, as soon as it pops up here.
Yes, sir. I figured I'd talk while you were waiting.
Well, I tried to give you good files. Okay. So it's still loading. It's not like I've been trying to do anything. We leave tomorrow morning to go to Kansas. We're doing our first in-person convention judging this weekend. Yay. So we leave for Kansas tomorrow. So there's the total contrast. You can see just slightly. Can you see the difference on the contrast? We bring that down, and it's because of that we can bring it up or more however we want it. And one of the last things we're going to do here is I showed a wide list last night, but I already have some pre-made fine art mats because I don't like to work harder. I just like to figure out what I'm doing here. I've already got my mats made, so I can just pop these bad boys in there and it'll be ready to go here in just a couple of seconds. Because I've gone in, I've made a mat. And there we have, that's the first shot we did. And you can lighten up Billy Buffalo and some things, but you can see how quickly you can do an edit on that. Any questions? Does anybody care?
About
So,
what?
Dennis, I saw that you're using NIK Color Effects Pro, which is the new one, right?
Yes.
4.
Yes.
What's new in that? What versus 3?
The price. Oh,
Well, of course, yeah. Of course, they want more money.
I'm sorry. That's just, they've added some more. I really haven't found anything that it's encouraged me. I mean, I got it so I can teach it and show it, but I haven't found anything that's really got me more excited to use it. I mean, I've been using NIK since it came out, maybe 15 years ago. And I was actually on the NIK team when NIK had it before they sold to Google. And so I was showing a lot of stuff then. And so a lot of people don't have it yet. And even when after Google and then when that DxO bought it, I actually after they left, I had to go buy it myself. So, but now it's just one price instead of each segment for it.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis,
Yes.
I've got a question with regard to the horizons. On things like this, it's very easy to find out where the horizon is, but sometimes you end up with you're shooting where the actual land is warped or shape makes it appear that it's the horizon, but in reality, the horizon is exactly right. The land itself is.
Well, actually, you brought that up. I'm going to bring up about horizons versus shorelines.
Okay.
I had a plan on it because that's one of the things that I have a pet peeve on is judges and I'm not knocking judges, but people will say, oh, that horizon's crooked. And I'm going, no, that's a diminishing shoreline. That's a diminishing horizon. That hill is actually rising. So that is, I understand it, but this image, I actually, the one before and after this was perfectly level because I used the levels in my camera. And so I got to do something different in case I need to use this for a workshop. And here I am. So is there any questions on what I did here?
Nope.
Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Good.
Okay. Okay. Does everybody do pan stitches?
Yes.
Does everybody? Okay, I'm just going to grab. So when I do pan stitches, and I don't have my video, so I can't see it. When I shoot a pan stitch, I don't know if you can see it. I shoot the first shot. I'm doing of a pan stitch with my hand going to the right. I do my series. I do the last one shot, and then I do another one with my hand stitch. So I didn't show those in here. So it's like a math equation. So I can know that at that particular time that I am doing. Come on, Dennis, know where you're at. I'm trying to talk and do something at the same time. Sherry says I can't walk and chew bubble gum, so that's okay. So I always bracket, if I'm doing some kind of exposure compensation, or if I'm doing anything, I can go back in 6 months from now and know that inside my brackets, my fingers, I'm doing something. So I did this just last week. No, I'm kidding. This was on the 1st of January. I kid you, but it was pretty nippy up there. It was only like 5 below or something. Not a bad morning. Okay, so while we're doing this, is there anything anybody specifically wants to see?
I have a question on the photo stitching. Do you always use automatic, the choice?
I do.
And
That's just my choice. I can do other ones and do it manually, but I figured out that this computer is probably smarter than I am. And that's no remarks from our chief and boss there. Okay, in reference, he asked if I do automatic. Why that question? Can I understand the reasoning behind it?
well, sometimes I do automatic and then it doesn't look the greatest, so I'll try some of the other ones. That like especially if
Go
you're
ahead.
doing like something really tall and you're doing the top of it, then like the middle of it, then more middle, and then the bottom. Like it's a vertical panner.
I've actually done vertical pan stitches. I did a geyser in Yellowstone. I did the same thing, a vertical pan, and and I had to go manual, I think, on that. But I'm pretty good. This is just on my tripod. I don't have a gimbal head or that. This is pretty decent here. But what I'm going to do is just real quick. I'm just going to flatten this down and so you guys can see all the areas here. And I don't know if you notice, all my images are shot vertically for my pan stitches. Now, if you wanted a lot more of that sky, before I do that, let's do that. Okay, I think Bruce was asking about the, I'm just trying to remember voices because my video's not up, so I can't. So here it is. There's my horizon again. And this is more, this is a dimension line because it's shooting down a canyon. But it's still going to give me that depth in there. And this is shooting down a canyon. And then you can still see it straight. And I'm sure a lot of you have been to this particular location in the Tetons and Solanum's made famous. And so now you can see it's kind of diminishing. Bruce, can you see the difference there? Was it you that asked?
Yes, it was.
Who was?
Yeah, it was Bruce. Yes.
Okay, so the horizon is straight, but I can see the line diminishing across there. I just know the scene when I'm coming there. Yeah, I'm cheating there. Okay, so now we got the Tetons in a cool morning, and the fog and the mist it rose up enough there, and so I like the clouds. But what I'm concerned about is So I'm coming back into Silver Effects, excuse me, color, and nobody else's computer runs slow when you're trying to show something, does it?
Well, it's such a large file when you do a pano. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I like it. Okay. One thing I've been playing with is I found here is my polarization. Now I have polarizing filter, but you can do your polarization, subtle, medium, or strong. So I'm just going to do it. And now you can see the polarizing and the strength, and I can increase the strength of the polarizer down across on the sky. So, I can rotate it back and forth and do the polarizer here on this as well. So, that is pretty natural to me on a polarizer. So it brings in there again, a lot of that diminishing look on scenics is natural because it goes from the lighter, the angle of the sun comes up and it goes darker in the sky. So this is imitating that same look that you see when we're out doing scenics like this. And interesting enough, there's only 4 of us there that morning. It was so cold, but that's what I like about days like this. So see how easy that was just with the polarizer and using the polarizing filter. Now we can go back to the come back to the next one. The next one that isn't used a lot of people don't use, is the whitening. And this is all stuff that we just play with every day. Like I say, my polarization, can kick that guy off. Do you want to do it again? You can do a white neutralizer. And so you can go to different colors of what you want there. And I like the warm. So I'm just getting that. And that's actually the color that probably felt like it was that day. And here's the thing is people go, oh, the snow isn't white. Well, I know a lot of you have been out there and done this, that snow is got the reflection of the sky out there. And that's what that comes from. So now we're just changing the tones of this. And I think people work too hard on images. I had somebody recently tell me, they said, well, they were doing an artist image. They said, oh, we spent over 100 hours working on one image. And I'm going, okay, number one, I don't have 100 hours to mess around on one image to get a trophy or ribbon. I'm sorry. That's just, I don't have that time. And this, excuse me, I'm working on these for galleries and shows and for competition. So now if I don't like that, see, I can bring that opacity down on that. And there again, I just would probably put my fine art mat on that bad boy. And yes,
I don't know if you can see it on mine. I'm seeing some banding. Is there any way of fixing that? Or is that just me?
I see no banding. I see clouds.
Okay. It's just I see a lot of stripes going across. Okay.
We're seeing a lot of that on Zoom. It just comes over on Zoom because it's a low res, it's 720p.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
so
a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a problem right there, that when judges see things and they tell us as judges, if like you said, you saw it, I'm looking at my monitor. I have a 37-inch monitor. So I am not seeing it when I zoom this up. But there are clouds in there and there's no banding in there. But that is a problem if we're judging on Zoom or some of those others, that judges do see things and we're told to disallow those. Dwight, do you want to interject anything on how they told us to do that? But since we both have been judging, do you have anything?
Right. Because we have we're everybody's individual, we have different monitors, the settings are different, the resolution and size vary. So we'll give it to the benefit of the maker that there isn't a problem. But if we're in person at IPC and we're sharing all identical high-res monitors, it's all calibrated out, then if we see a problem, we will call it out.
So anybody got any questions on how quickly we was able to process that, put that together, and to do that?
Dennis, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you cropped it, is there a way to expand the picture without having to crop it all down?
I guess I'm not understanding. What do you mean expand it?
Expand the parts that, when you went through the pano and you automated it, And then there was some areas that it cropped out to make the picture, more concise. But there was, the background that was, I don't know what you call that.
Oh, you mean where I missed the areas? Well,
Yes.
yeah. In a previous one I did, you could do that. You could do an edit, fill, content aware fill, and
Okay, that's it.
content aware fill and
Okay.
edit, fill, and then you go foreground. You just drop that down, and you get content aware. But I don't have anything selected to do that. But I do content aware fill on things like that. And one of the ones I did for Michael, maybe last year, I showed how to do that on a bunch of images. And it works out very well, but it's, for me, I just knew the parameters I wanted to use for this particular image. And so that's why I went that direction.
Okay, thanks.
I hope that helped.
It did. I had forgotten that the content aware fill part.
Also, with the newer version of Photoshop, when you're doing panos, there's a checkbox for content aware fill to where it will fill those boxes or those blank areas automatically.
Yeah, I know that, and this is the older version for a
Yes.
reason I'm doing this. But the problem is that when I've used that on the newer version, I like to go back and selectively select areas with my lasso instead of doing a global content aware fill, because I feel I get a better resolution in my image that way. Does that make sense, Michael?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Any questions on this? Does anybody care? No.
Not really.
I figured that. Okay. Now, I got one here. Okay. This is one I was out testing a 100 to 400 lens, and actually a bunch of little loons came in, and those little dudes were tricking me. And then I looked up and saw this photo across this marsh. It was that sunset. It was dark, and no, we could go back and do all the horizon thing again, guys, but I'm not going to do that right now because I want to show you a couple other things, because we see these images, and I think sometimes we get so caught up in the scenes that we forget that we have such gradated tonalities here. And so I went in, and I went in Viveza, and just simply I grabbed a couple of different tones and adjusted the tones here. Then I went up this tone and blue and grabbed this tone here, and then I went up and I grabbed down the grass and created that tone there. So, yes, these are all things you can do in Photoshop, and it'll take you a long time to set and play with hues and adjustments and saturation. But you just learn and which ones these you can do. So we went from that, which was a kind of fun scene, to what I was seeing. And then of course, I really like my little thing. If once you get that made up, then you can have those made so fast. But you can see how fast you can change a scene just by changing the colors and the tones and the gradations in things. And I'm not using Photoshop or the gradation or gradient tool. I'm just using strictly just using Viveza and doing selective areas and popping that in there. Do you want me to show you how I did that, or do you guys understand it?
Show us.
Oh, sure. I got you. Man, you're going to kill me now. Okay. So Viveza is an amazing tool, and we use it a lot. You know what? I'm going to just take all these off here so you don't see anything new I've done, and we're going to start all over. Okay. Actually, I bought this on the internet, and now I got to tell them that I did. Okay. See, my jokes don't even go over with you guys. Jeez, that's killing me, Smalls.
That was a joke.
Hey, Dennis, this is John. We're on mute, but we're laughing.
Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm trying to remember everything I did here. First of all, when I did this, Nick, let's go back to the color effects. Yeah, the great thing about having a new audience, I get to use the same jokes and they don't get to hear it. So, you know, it's always nice to have a new audience. So my white glaze are out. So one of my favorite ones I always start with is my brilliance and warmth. And, you know, I can adjust the saturation down. So I start with that guy first. So that's one I really like to start with. And just for giggles, I'm not going to stack. I'm going to stack them up today. And the graduated neutral density. And see, it's already starting to, it creates the skies for me. So show me where I want to go. And sorry guys, this is life, right? So obviously you see now this is actually the tonalities that were there that night. So then I just come back in. Really, Dennis? And I just grab, say, the blue. Now the pink. I just pink, right? And just expand the whole horizon. And then I can just bring it down. I can just saturate it up a little bit more and look at the glow on the mountains. If I want to pop a little more structure, I can do that. Okay, at the same time, I'm just going to come up here with the blue and bring it down a little bit more, as much to your taste, and bring the saturation in, and then you got the blues, and you can do. Now, one thing you want to do, if I want to come in here, I can add more blue in the picture. See, I can come down here and add more blue pinks in the picture. If you want to come down and actually adjust, hit more warmth in the hole where you're at and adjust. And now we're really nailed that guy in the background, that beautiful sunset. But here's the beautiful thing about what we just did. If you don't like what you did, you can go back and redo it. Or, you know, you just come back over here and adjust your opacity and bring it back down. So you can see how quickly we can adjust a file. And the trap is we shoot these kind of images, and yes, I have various density filters. I have all the density filters, and I can get them out. But then the problem is they come into trees. They come this. Now I could come in here and if I want to and brush some of this out of the tree if I didn't like it in the tree. So you can see just, you have to be careful you don't hit it all. So you can see it's over here masking out of the tree. So it's real quickly, again, you can just play with these guys and make an art piece with that. Now, the thing about Skylum, Luminar real fast. Now I got my own selection of birds and things, but I'm just going to show you. Let's say it looks too bland in here. I have some geese and some different things that I've went in and cut out and things, but I'm just going to show you here real fast. If you have this, again, if you use this in competition and these stock images, and the reason I got this is so I could familiarize myself with some of the stock images within here. And damn it, Dennis. Oh, sorry, I just swore. I didn't say anything too naughty, did I?
Not yet.
You said Dennis.
And this is my best friend, Dwight. Gee, thanks, buddy.
You're the one that invited Dwight.
I love Dwight. I have to be nice to him. He's got naked pictures of me, so I have to be careful.
TMI.
I'm just kidding, guys.
Dennis, while we're waiting, just for your information, I'm showing NIK in my records back in March 2.
March what?
2002.
Is that how long it's been going on? I've had it since the inception. So thank you for, time goes by. You guys do have my NIK screen up right now, right?
No. We just see your Photoshop screen with the blue circle.
You guys got to tell me these things. I'm sorry. I just go cruising along. Now, how about, can you see my Luminar?
Now we see it. Now we see Luminar.
You know, so we can change all the skies and do some different things. I mean, if you really want to get crazy, you know, I actually went out and got some of my own. You could do a night scene. You know, there's been some fun things there, but the thing I like is about if you go in here and you get your own shots. You can look at it, put your birds in the night shot. You can do all kind of things. So there's just a lot of things when you go out and go on your rivers, out in your parks, and get a whole bunch of shots and different things, and just add to your images there and correct them there. Okay, so I got your faces back. What else would you guys want to see? I mean, I'm probably boring the heck out of you guys. So, oh, Marion here. Hi, Marion from Mexico. She's all muted up on me.
I see Booth in there too.
Wow.
Good to see those friendly faces.
Oh, at least they're on that side. Yeah. From Florida. Wow, I'm good. Okay, so I'm going to do one more little thing here. That's probably going to, you know, kind of scare some of you how I'm going to do this here. This is, maybe if I find which one it is. I should have wrote these down here. Okay. Now this is a really cool fall scene that I did in one of my workshops last year. And, you know, it's a nice little scene, but it just needs to have some depth in it. I mean, let's face it, time of day and everything happens. You don't have the time of day. So I just made a duplicate layer. Okay. So I just go here to edit, fill, and then I'm just going to use 50% gray on this. Oh, there it is. There's my shot. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Bring it back down so you see your images. Okay. Now, so I'm bringing down some density and things. Now, one thing I'm going to do is then I'm going to get a brush, and I'm going to do this real fast. I'm going to probably get a little sloppy when I do this, so please apologize. I'm trying to get this real fast. And then I can come in and just start brushing in depth on all the different trees and you know, change the opacity and things, but I'm just going to show you guys. And I've used this numerous times on different places because, and use my bracket key to get them smaller. So now you're seeing how I can create depth in an image when it's actually flat lighting and back in the back like that. And like I say, guys, I'm just doing this real fast. I'm not masking real fast, but so you can see.
You want Sherry to help you?
You know, Dwight, you're killing me, man. You know what's interesting is that even, okay, now see those back ones? I'll take them down a bunch more opacity so they'll still be in there and create depth in the back. And I'm not saying this is something you're going to use on every image, but I'm saying you get a shot that you want to create some depth on. Okay, so now we basically got this guy down. We could do more here, but I'm just gonna okay, I'm gonna collapse the image, I'm gonna flatten it. Then we're gonna take it back into NIK. And no, oh, why did that do it that way? Oh, I did something wrong. I forgot my filters are still on there, man. See, I'm trying to impress you guys and see what happens. There we go. Now we got some depth, saturation. We're going to bring that back down a little bit more. And just for giggles here, I'm going to, we can do some things like even put the neutral that filter on the top and just bring it across the bottom and lower intensity and bring it down. We got another filter on, dark and lighten. And now that's almost too much. And you can come here in the opacity and you can, the center luminosity brighter, and you can take the loop outside so you can bring the attention in if that's what you want. That's not particularly where I'm at. Okay, now we're going to come here, probably one last one here, and one of my favorites, tonal contrast. See, we can soften it down. or really make it pop. You can make your choice. But now can you see the depth and how we create the depth in this image here? And I'm going to just save that guy. So now you can look in there. It looks kind of flat. And then you've got that depth that's created in that image across the whole background due to putting that different color of that gray neutral tones in and then bring it in and brush in. Yes, it takes a little time to do it. Yes, it takes a little skill with your brush. I use a Wacom tablet to do that. And so we went from that to that. And there again, like I say, add my little favorite little border and boom, we got a little art piece. So what else? I mean, I'm zipping through these bad boys and I see Betty going, what the heck is he doing?
That was a good one, Dennis.
Any question? I mean, you can use that for a lot of things. But just a matter, you just put things like that in your tool belt and you come up and you need something down the road and there it is. So what else do you guys want to see? See me leave? How about a critter? Do you want me to show you like a critter, how I bring out details in a critter?
That'd be perfect.
Bruce is the one to show you how to do all this. He's the critter master. Me, I just go and chase mountain sheep, mountain goats, and elk and moose. Okay, any questions on this before I close this guy down? Man, I might save that for competition for next year. Okay. So we're in the Tetons, and I capture this guy, and he's pretty cool. I mean, we have to chase him off. It's kind of funny. You can see all these little flakes you see in here. That's not noise. That's snowing. It was snowing, and he was chasing our cars, and he was trying to lick the salt off our bumpers. I just wish they'd feed him better up there. So, I'm just going to grab my NIK filter and come down to Viveza, and he's pretty sharp, but I just wanted a little bit more detail in this guy, and so I'm just going to throw a little structure in him. I'm going to throw a little more brightness, lighten him up a little bit more so he stands out, and then maybe just a tad more saturation because it was kind of an overcast day. And look how that just made him jump out. Now, at the same time, we could come up here in the snow. It really does work. There we go. And we can brighten the snow up, and we can just tone that down, and automatically he almost looks three-dimensional. Somebody asked me, I did one like this, and somebody asked me if I actually took a stuffed one out there because he looks so three-dimensional. Okay, question of the day. Does everybody know the difference between antlers and horns? A little biology question for y'all today.
I do not.
Do tell us.
Man, I had a
Horns
round
are
trip ticket on.
permanent.
That's right.
Antlers are
Antlers.
shed.
Antlers are shed. Horns are permanent. Very good. Is that Jack? Who said that?
Yo,
Joe Butts said it.
Joe. Very good. Not many people know that. And there again, we got too much going on up here with all these here. I mean, I wish they wouldn't stay up there all the time, but I just always like putting a little brilliance one fill on that guy, and I could bring him up a little more saturation, and boom, a little bit of texture, and I could throw some more tonal detail if we wanted to on there, but I think he looks pretty sharp. Just lighten that background up on that, and it looks pretty decent for me. Now, compositioning if I was doing this in competition, I'd probably take the snowflakes off. Something else I would do is if I take these light areas out and that dark areas here and this dark area in the corners, I hate things that are intersecting on borders and edges that take out from the border, because this kind of to me is like the little eye flickers that grab you out and take you out. So those are just some issues there that I would have if I was to enter something like this or see some of this in competition. Any questions on this?
I have a question. If if you were to take a photo like this and you wanted to submit it to outdoor photographer, could you do those Viveza adjustments without it being a violation of changing the picture?
I don't, well, a lot of them will say that they have natural, but I look at it this way, and there's very few images that I see out there that are not worked on. I mean, they don't want you to start dropping in backgrounds and scenes and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I did very little there. And if I send them the raw file, come on, Dennis. If I send them the raw file, I mean, that's pretty decent. I mean, that would probably do okay, but that's just a little bit of enhancements. And so if they needed to, if they'd see it, that I haven't taken the snow or anything off. I haven't changed the background or tonals. All I did is just bring from a flat, snowy day. And it depends on the contest, because I've entered some contests before and they allowed it and it was not a big deal.
All right, thank you.
I have a question. Do you usually end up with Viveza, or do you go in and do Sharpener Pro at the end?
Well, I have done Sharpener, but my images usually are pretty sharp, and I have a need to run Sharpener. I mean, if you feel like you need to, the problem is when you start running sharpening, then that's when you start getting that edge, little edges, black edges around some things. If you're not sure it's sharp, that's when you start seeing the tonal differences on the edges with the sharpening the black edges or the white edges on the mountains. Very, very few things do I run through on Sharpener. I just try, that's how I just try to capture it that way. Tonal, I mean, I can do, well, you kind of sharpen a little bit with that and the tonal, let's just do that real fast. If we did this with, let's say we did detail extractor, which is one that kind of helps sharpen things up. It almost pushes it, for me, it pushes things over the edge. And as a judge, I see so many of these kind of things that I've actually seen images that people send in like that. You can see still see the sheep, right?
Yes.
So that's the default with the detail extractor, and that adds a little bit to it. But I mean, honest to God, I have seen people enter this kind of stuff and they think they're just doing wonderful stuff. And I hope they don't come up on my panel. So you can see the difference in the detail extractor. So did that answer your question on the sharpness? Although Nick does have a sharpening and different things there. And next week we can do topaz. I mean, I'll probably traveling back and forth, but that topaz, we actually have the topaz, the sharpener and the denoise. And we actually will sometimes run an image through that just to kill some of all the effects we've done. And that's amazing how that works as well. Anything else on this one? I got one more kind of like I could do like that one with the gray that I did with tell me where are all the ones I did here. This is the same kind of thing I did when I added that gray to the image, and I'm going to take these guys off here so you don't have. It's a pretty decent shot, but you know, this guy here, I'd take out real quick there. But one thing I did here, like I say, is like this shot, I just felt lack some depth. So I just did the same thing and added, you know, a 50% gray to the image, then just brought down, and then you can come do your layer mask. And you can start, I'm trying to show you guys, and now I'm going to be screwed up. And then just a little bit, see, I'm just bringing in some detail back in the red flowers. And so you can do this selectively for the things you want to show off more. And like that tree trunk you want to bring in, so you can see over the mask. So you can selectively, kind of put in detail and texture where you want things. And I brought that down quite a bit over here. You can see where I brought that down as well. but I just brought it down so I could show you guys how easy it is, to come in and add that extra detail back into an image and create some more depth back in there and go from there. So you see just now real quickly, just on the reds, I just added that detail back in with the reds on this scenic shot right here. So this is one of those things there. It's just another tool in your tool belt. So when you start working on things, you can adjust the difference in tonalities of the gray or the opacity, and it is just another tool. You can do this on portraits and families and whatever. So anyway, guys, I could go on all day, but I don't want to bore you. I hate some of you might need your naps by now. So
that would be me.
Well, I'm talking about moi, So any questions on anything?
You were going to put out the discount code for everybody, Dennis.
Oh, thank you for keeping this boy online here. I'll just copy and paste that here. Chat. And you just do a screenshot of it or whatever. And they just come out with a brand new one, which has got all that foo-foo stuff in it. I've been playing with, but I'm more familiar with this, and so I want everybody to know what was happening. So that's a good way. It's just another tool. I think it's like $100 or $130, guys. But it's just another tool in your toolbox when you're wanting to do things. And it does have a sharpener in it. In fact, if you didn't have Photoshop, you could almost do all your stuff in Skylum if you didn't have Photoshop.
Skylum's got a lot of good tools in it.
Yeah. Well, it's got a lot of fun things you can play with. Like I said, I initially bought it so I could be versed in because I've seen some images that go, oh, those geese are from Skylum, but they don't put the thumbnails for it. So, then you have to flag an image. And unfortunately, if they use something that's not theirs, then it gets challenged or somebody knows about it. So, I see Dwight talk about IPC this year. Yay. I'm judging IPC, and hopefully they don't cancel it out. And by the way, they are allowing prints, but if you've already merited with your digital files, I wouldn't recommend you breaking your seal to enter prints. Now keep the seal, but they are taking prints this year.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to hit stop record so everybody could ask the questions now. So